All right, I think we are live on the Wade's Ventures YouTube channel, guys. Welcome into Wade's Ventures YouTube channel. This is a Monday, and we have got a jam-packed show for you tonight, guys. I'm very excited. I think this is going to help a ton of people. And before we get started, you guys know I got my Rally Roots hack, and I want to say everybody that has joined from their channel when they went live an hour ago, thank you so much for joining. If you're a first-time subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. We have got a lot of cool stuff on this YouTube channel. We do everything reselling on this YouTube channel. And so tonight, this is a first for the Wade's Ventures YouTube channel. We have never invited a non-reseller to our channel, guys, and we have got a fantastic guest, somebody that's going to help us when it comes. I've been following him for a very long time. And the point of this, guys, is to invite Dan, Creator Fundamentals, to our channel so he can help, because we all know there is a lot of reselling YouTube channels out there. And if I want to be known for anything, it's to help people grow their social media. And I got to admit, I am not savvy with social media, especially when it comes to YouTube. I'm somewhat new. I am a smaller channel. So I had to bring somebody in here that knows what he's doing. And so let me say hello to some people, and then we'll introduce Dan. I want to say, Andre's in chat. What's going on, my man? Gina, The Real Stitch, Frenchie, what's going on, Frenchie? Mr. Pac-Man's in here. All right, guys, so I want to go through more, but we have a jam-packed hour. Literally, I have so many questions for Dan. So without further ado, let me hand the mic over to him so he can introduce himself. Go ahead, my man.
Hello, everyone. As he mentioned, my name is Dan Courier. I run a YouTube channel called Creator Fundamentals, which is all about helping people learn best practices on YouTube, everything from how to design their thumbnails, SEO, which means basically learning how keyword research works, and all the tips and tricks that are used by successful YouTubers to help grow your channel in an organic or with an organic approach. That means not focusing on advertising and some of the lesser approved means of trying to grow artificially. It's all about learning the way YouTube works and optimizing your channel to bring in an audience that's interested in the content that you want and deliver your value to people through online video.
Guys, he's got a fantastic YouTube channel, and I want to, I'm going to be constantly putting his YouTube channel link in chat so you guys can subscribe and learn from him. I really appreciate that super chat already before we even got started. We haven't brought any content yet, but I appreciate that, guys. Welcome in. So let's get started. So long story short, guys, we have a lot of questions that we're going to ask Dan. And then on top of that, we do have, I believe, 9 YouTube channels that we're going to go over. And the reason we're going to go over these 9 YouTube channels, I'm actually going to share my screen, is to kind of go through each one and not to say what's not happening correctly, but more so just give constructive feedback so those that have a YouTube channel can go through and can go through that and kind of like, in their mind figure out what they want to do, guys. So Lauren, come on, 499 super chat. I appreciate you. I saw you super chatting over there at Rally Roots, the Roots. So I appreciate you. You're amazing. It was really nice to meet you in Vegas. All right, guys, so before we get started, can you please let me know if you have a YouTube channel? Type in your YouTube channel in chat. If you've got a YouTube channel, please let me know what your YouTube channel name is. I'm 100% okay with you cross-promoting in chat. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and go through this. Dan, in no particular order, before we go through these channel reviews, let me ask you some questions, my man, so we can kind of get an idea. These are common questions that a lot of people ask when they want to start a YouTube channel up. And honestly, it's in no particular order. I've got a lot of questions to ask you, and they're not in any order. But the first thing I want to ask is, when you create a video on YouTube, what do you recommend for the research tool that you use to research the keywords to put in the videos?
So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there you can do. If you're looking for something that's completely free, you can actually do keyword research in the actual search bar on YouTube itself. It doesn't cost you anything. And basically, when you come up with a topic that you want to do a YouTube video about, you start to type it into the search bar on YouTube. And as you type a word, you hit space and it'll give you some longer tail keyword phrases. keyword phrases are really what you want to target when you're trying to build SEO and keywords for your videos, because those are actual phrases that people are searching for. So if you wanted to do, how to sell a bike, you would start to type in, either you type in bike and hit space and see what kind of actual search phrases people were searching. It may be how to sell a bike and you hit space and it'll be how to sell a bike fast, how to sell a bike cheap, how to sell an expensive bike. By learning what people are actually searching for and not just coming up with something you think sounds good is going to help you to target your video to phrases that people are repeatedly looking for. And like I said, as you type something into the toolbar and you hit that space bar and it shows you a list of possible phrases, those are things that people are looking for. And those are the types of phrases that you actually want to focus on. Now, if you're serious about it and you want to get some good tools that can help you with the keyword research process, TubeBuddy is an excellent tool. In addition to keyword research, they provide a whole suite of tools that you can use that are actually integrated through a plugin on your browser. So each time you upload a video, you have all of their tools at your fingertips with each upload that can help you kind of optimize everything and make sure each video is good to go. And then there's some other tools like Morning Fame that has a nice keyword research tool as well. And that's, you start to get into some of the paid tier type programs. But just starting out, trying to get an understanding of keyword research, you can definitely use that the YouTube search bar. Install the free version of TubeBuddy to become familiar with it. And as you start to grow, you can take a look at some of their paid tiers.
Appreciate that, Dan, because that actually, do you mind? Let's start there. Let's actually I'll show my screen. I'll show TubeBuddy. I'll show how they can get to it. And then we'll also show some of that stuff too. Give me 1 second. I think that's a good thing so we can get a visual here. Give me one moment, guys. Sorry, I've not shared my screen ever on a live show, so let me know if it works, guys. Give me 2 seconds here, and we will show you guys. So 1 second here. The Roots are in the house. Ryan and Ali, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for not only giving me this hat, but shouting this out. And again, I appreciate everybody that came over from their channel. All right, so I'm going to share my screen, guys, and kind of show you. We're going to get started on this and show you exactly a little bit about TubeBuddy. So let me know if it's working here. I'll present to everybody.
Yeah, so if you just go into, there you go, pop that open and edit.
Yes.
Go and edit one of your videos. You can take a look at some of the.
Okay, let's show them this real quick, Dan. I just want to show them how to get there. So in the description, guys, you've got the TubeBuddy link. You can come down here and click it, and then I'll bring you to TubeBuddy. And this is the service. But let's show you kind of how it works here. Give me 1 second. Dan. So let's go to one of my videos. We'll go to one that's not live, shall we? Let's see. Can you only imagine? Oh, man. Okay, here we go. Now you're going to see everything that I researched, guys. Oh, okay. It's funny. Okay. So let's go to this one, dumpster diving as ramen chicken noodle. Okay. Dan, have you ever dumpster dived before?
Honestly, there used to be, when I was younger, there was actually a place near where we lived that I think they used to do like house clean outs. So it wasn't like garbage type stuff, but it was like they would clean out old houses. I don't even know where the stuff came from, but we used to always stop by there and check out the interesting things they would leave by it.
Okay. Yeah, it's great. It's fun. So, all right. So let's get started on the very basics here, Dan, if you don't mind. So, man, do I not have, wow. Give me 1 second here. This is, I may not have TubeBuddy installed.
So just as an example, even though it's not on your screen there, we can still kind of,
okay. Give me 1 second.
Talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just make sure I don't have it on this browser here. I don't think I do. I have it on I do all my stuff on my laptop. Okay. I don't.
If you want to just pull up the edit screen, I can still talk about it without it actually being there. So When you actually upload a video, this is the screen that you tend to be at. As you see, you have your keyword research in the lower left-hand corner, as well as your, your title and your description. What TubeBuddy actually does is it appears as a menu in the upper right-hand corner, but it also appears inline. So down here where you have just below your little icon where it says public in the lower right-hand corner, you're going to get a checklist there of best practices that are going to allow you to make sure that you're doing everything you should with each video. You're also going to get grades or ranks on the keyword phrases that you're using in your keywords to show you how those are ranking for that particular search term on YouTube, which is going to help you understand which keyword phrases to target in an effort to get your videos to show up at the top of a search that somebody might be performing. That's why we do keyword phrases, because again, you're targeting things that people are actually searching for. And the ideal is to target a phrase that's going to get your video on the first page. By doing that, you're going to get a lot more traffic to your videos through search, and it's going to help your channel grow as a whole.
And another couple things too, guys, is I may actually just download TubeBuddy so it shows you guys, show you guys step by step here. But long story short, there's a couple enhancements or a couple things that you should probably do on your videos. So each video you can do an end screen, guys. And so this basically is real easy. You just go end screen, and you can click a video right here where you click, and you can do most recent video, or you can pick a video. And what this basically does, guys, is at the end of your video, people can click on this and then go to another one of your videos. So I think that's important. So that way you continuously have them watching your content. And then you can also do the subscribe, so they can click and subscribe to you at the end of the video as well. And then over here, and Dan, you do all this stuff too, like the
Yep.
You can also do a poll. You can ask them a question like, do you sell on eBay? And then yes, no, and then click OK, and then you can set the time in which you want that to happen, so people can click up here and be a part of that. What about these enhancements, Dan? A lot of people are wondering how they edit their videos.
So the
go ahead. Sorry, Dan.
The enhancements are actually they're eventually going to go away. They have the new YouTube Studio that is out, where they actually put an editor in there. Again, they're typically minor changes that you make to a video after it's uploaded. They come in real handy for live streams and things where you may have like a lead. Maybe you have some dead space in the beginning or during the video or at the end or whatever, and you can actually trim that off. And what YouTube will actually do when you use either the enhancements or the edit on the new YouTube Studio is actually start making those edits in the background without taking your video down. And when they're done processing them, they'll just swap your video out. So the video never goes down. People can watch the old version until the new version's done, and then they just swap them seamlessly. So, if you have, like you said, you started at a live stream, maybe you had a glitch or some kind of mishap in the beginning of it, you can go in and trim off the front of that. And then, like I said, YouTube will adjust it in the background and swap in the new one without anybody, having downtime.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. I wanted to show one thing too, is so when you create, for example, a lot of people are asking me this question too, and I think it's really, really cool. So this is when you create a live show, I wanted to show this. This is basically where you can, you go to the edit, and then you go to your settings here. And if you go down, guys, it's basically, you can, where a lot of people have it when the event is live. So for example, when you create a live show, you'll get a pop, all your subscribers, all your followers will get a pop-up saying you're live. But if you notice on my YouTube channel, it's way before the, I'll have to show you guys here. The events are set on my actual page. And the way you can get that set, for example, see right here where people can set reminders. So you go up here and you can click a week before, 2 days before, a day before. So that way it constantly shows up on your page so people can kind of see it and set their reminders for that live show. So that way you can have a little bit of time for people to recognize that there's an actual show. So I think that's really key. So let me go back to my questions here, Dan. Let's see. So basically, kind of, can you give me a little breakdown of how you get paid on YouTube, and I'll actually show people how much I've gotten paid and kind of that process. Like, can you break that down? Why I show them real quick?
Sure. So if your goal is to make money on YouTube, the one thing a lot of people tend to focus on ad revenue. And basically, for a YouTube channel to earn ad revenue, it has to be part of the YouTube Partner Program. The YouTube Partner Program requires you to have at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in order to join the program. What happens is once you reach those particular numbers, then you enter a review process. YouTube takes a look at your channel. They try to decide whether or not your content is appropriate to have ads placed on it. As long as you're not doing anything crazy or stealing somebody else's content, you'll typically get approved for that. And then you start earning ad revenue. Ad revenue, it's typically referred to, or people tend to refer to it as how much money you make per 1,000 views, which is, somewhere $1, $2, depending on what it is. Some niches are higher. It all depends on who's trying to advertise on your particular content. But the goal, or anybody who's actually serious about making money on YouTube, doesn't want to rely on just the AdSense. So one of the things that I promote on my channel is diversifying your revenue streams. And that basically means, coming up with as many different ways to earn money on the channel. For example, on my channel, I do earn ad revenue. I also earn super chat revenue, as this channel is earning in this live stream. That's a great way to interact with your fans, and the fans are able to provide you a thank you for the information that you share with them. I also do affiliate links. Basically, you can join like Amazon Associates. There's a number of other affiliate type marketing. There's Share a Sale. There's Rakuten. I'm not really sure what they're called, what their other name is, but a number of different programs like that, where if you mention a product in your video, you also go out and you get the affiliate link. You include it in your description, as you see there, on Wade's Venture. And then that's just another way for you to generate sales. You can either actively do so, where you actually talk about a product in your video and then refer them to the link in the description. TubeBuddy is my sponsor, and I'm also an affiliate for TubeBuddy. So, every time that I mention them in my videos, I also let them know that there's a link in the description where you're actually pushing people to that affiliate link. And then you just have passive ones. I have links for other things that are related to the type of content that I'm covering that I just include in every single one of my descriptions. So if people happen to be looking through there, they might find relevant stuff in there. I see, merch on Amazon in there and other things. So, and then, depending on the type of content that you're doing, you can do, paid courses. If you're doing educational content, you can do digital downloads. If you're giving them like the top 25 steps to resell on eBay or Amazon or whatever it is, create it as a PDF, set up a website, and actually charge people X number of dollars to download that, and those kind of things. And then you set stuff up to do, make revenue that way. You can also coach people, depending on the type of content that you're making. And you're basically always just exploring the different ways to have revenue coming into your channel, because, maybe you're not making a ton in any one of them, but you set up 6, 7, 8 different revenue streams, and that can add up.
And this is the transactional revenue. So I just noticed I got an amazing super chat. Sorry, guys, I didn't have chat pulled up. Let's see. I didn't even actually miss the super chat here. Yeah, I missed it. Okay. What's going on, Flipping? I appreciate you. By the way, Dan, he holds my super chat record at like $250, and I can't. Awesome. I don't know about you, Dan, but every time somebody super chats me, I wish I can like reach to the screen and give him like a fist pump or something. Yeah,
absolutely.
So I appreciate you. I appreciate that, and that's basically, I believe, the transaction revenue, which is right here. So if you look at my revenue lifetime, I just got started because remember, guys, I wasn't monetized up until recently. But the transaction revenue, which is this is my ad revenue. Yeah, right here, guys. This is super chats right here. I don't understand the YouTube Premium. Is that just people, Dan?
YouTube Premium is what replaced YouTube Red. It's the paid tier of YouTube where you don't receive ads. So it's people just by getting views through the premium service, you earn revenue based on views.
Okay, and then this is the ad revenue. So when people Dan, can you just real quick, can you touch on this? So when people skip your, like, how does that work? Just people that watch the ads, right?
You don't have to watch the full ad to get credit for a skippable ad. I honestly don't know what I think it just as long as you get, because they pay less for those.
Yes.
So I think you get credit for them just by having them wait until they're skipped.
And real quick, guys, and then we'll go on to the channel reviews. So when you edit a video, give me 1 second. It's thinking. When you edit a video, you can go to monetize right here, and you can set. For some reason, it's grayed out right now, but you can set areas in the video to set the ads. Like you personally can do that. So maybe this is why. Is that why it's grayed out? Okay, that's weird. So guys, you see here. So anybody that is monetized can set an ad there, or they can set an ad anywhere they want within the video, and then one after. So that way they can get paid on that ad revenue.
Yeah. So that bottom one where the ad breaks, you're going to get those for any videos that are over 10 minutes long. Otherwise, you're going to get the other types of ads.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, you get the ad breaks at the bottom come in when your video exceeds 10 minutes. So then you can
Okay.
You can put multiple ones in there. You can like do 2 or 3 of them. Just keep in mind that every time you do it, it's going to give an interruption in the video. So depending on how loyal your fan base is and whether you have them hanging on the edge of their seats for your content, you might be able to get away with putting a couple in there, knowing that they're going to hang around. Because ultimately, you want to make sure you're keeping your watch time up on your videos, and you want people hanging around for as much of your video as possible.
Yes, and guys, it's I try not to put too many in here because it does get annoying if you put a ton, right? So
right,
you got to be mindful of that for sure. And so that kind of gives you. I wanted to show you a visual, guys, because a lot of people in chat want to start YouTube channels up, but they don't know, like, physically have never seen any of this stuff, right? So that's why we wanted to do screen share and kind of show you. And real quick, Dan, while I got you, does this really matter, like how much you get paid? Like, because most of my stuff, well, this is entertainment. This video here, maybe educational, right? Because I'm pulling stuff out of the trash and selling it.
Yeah, I mean, in terms that doesn't impact how much you make on it. It's just it's just a category for your videos. I mean, mine are all set to education. Your audience is ultimately going to determine, I mean, who tunes into your videos and watches them is going to reflect that. I actually saw a good question in the chat from the Real Stitch. Says, Dan, your thumbnails are very similar. Should they be consistent or different? And that's a really great question. It's something that comes up a lot on YouTube, and my thumbnails are actually intentionally similar. When you think, because my goal is to build a brand, I'm not simply trying to have each individual video be successful on its own. I'm trying to develop a brand so people immediately recognize my content. When you think of somebody like Coca-Cola, would they be as easily recognizable if they weren't using the white script language on a red can everywhere you go? You immediately know it's Coca-Cola. Even if it said a different word, you'd think of Coca-Cola because of the branding of that product. The goal of repetition is to get people, just have that auto response that, hey, I know those particular color combinations and that face is Creator Fundamentals, and that's Dan Courier, and I know that he does stuff about best practices on YouTube. So in that regard, if you're trying to build a brand, if you want people or your name or your YouTube channel to become synonymous with something, then developing a branding, a consistency across your thumbnails and your channel art and your icon is super powerful in doing that. So that is why my thumbnails and everything are similar. That said, you always want to work on continuing to improve, and I always experiment and do other things, but it is intentionally, each thumbnail is intentionally similar to help have that brand recognition.
And Dan, I know this is probably basic here, but so if you look at this, the thumbs up and thumbs down, like, can you explain, does thumbs down actually hinder your video? Like, can you explain that real quick?
It's all engagement. So YouTube just looks at the engagement that you are generating on the video. So no, I think I'm trying to think of who it was. There was a large creator that I don't even know if it was PewDiePie or somebody who actually had somebody thumbs down, had asked everybody to thumbs down a video, and I think the video was trending. So it's not going to hurt your channel if somebody is heavy on the thumbs down. Now, that said, you obviously want to make content that resonates with your audience and that they approve of. So I wouldn't necessarily target trying to make videos that people hate. But at the same time, there are certain topics that, are going to have people on both sides. And those can generate, healthy debate or whatever it is. And you're going to get a lot of, if you take a look at the video on the screen right now, that PewDiePie versus T-Series, that's an excellent example of a video. As you can see, compared to some recent videos, it has 23,000 views, but the good people of India were not, are not thrilled with PewDiePie and the idea that there's some other channels that are kind of making it a war between the T-Series is a company in India that's about to surpass PewDiePie for the most subscribers. And apparently on other videos that are out there, they've had this kind of like war mentality between T-Series and PewDiePie. So that video has like more than 100 more dislikes than likes on it because everybody came to it to express their frustration. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, compared to the other videos, the very recent videos, it just blew them out of the water, and it's mostly dislikes. So,
okay, now, again, I appreciate you, by the way, and I want to show this real quick. So a lot of people, remember, guys, real quick, I want to make sure that we're painfully clear here. So basically, I'm taking the assumption that everybody watching here, I mean, because there's different types of people, and their objective, and none is every one of them has got a rightful place. So there's people that start YouTube channels up that don't mind if they grow; they just want to document their journey, completely fine. And then there's kind of the middle ground where they kind of want to grow, but they're not taking it to a serious level, completely fine. So I was talking with Dan before the show, and we're kind of taking this approach that you guys actually want to grow, like you guys want to grow and do everything you possibly can. So I just want to make sure that we're on the same page there. So when we go through, we're going to do these kind of pull up these 10 different YouTube channels that are resellers, and we're going to show you kind of different things. Well, when I say we, I mean Dan, that they can do to grow, and different things that they can do. And we're taking this an approach that they're wanting to grow tremendously. But before we do that, Dan, do you recommend that they do, if I have a reselling channel, do you recommend I only do reselling if I want to grow, or is it okay to do a little bit of personal, like, vlogs in the desert or something? You know what I mean?
If your goal is growing, I would try to stay on topic as much as possible. If you did an occasional video, that probably wouldn't be a problem. But if you do have the desire to make, I went on a vacation, let me show you it, I would probably keep that on a separate channel. Okay. The more focused an individual channel is on a given niche, the greater opportunity you have to grow faster. And if you think about it, so you're making videos about how to resell, and you have somebody that comes and subscribes to your channel. They subscribe to your channel because they are interested in reselling and they want to watch a video about that. So then your next video that comes out is, the trip you took to the Grand Canyon. And then maybe the next one is, hey, there was, I just washed my car and it looks nice and shiny. Come check it out. What happens is you're creating a disconnect between why they joined your channel and the type of content that you're providing them. So what's going to happen, they're either going to say, hey, you're not really putting out videos that are meaningful to me, so I'm either going to unsubscribe for your channel, or I'm just going to stop paying attention to your notifications, which in a lot of cases is even worse than unsubscribing, because you think you have an audience and you don't. So the more that you can, stay true to the topic that they subscribe for, on the flip side, hey, they watched that video, the next two videos that came out are all about reselling on relevant topics that those people wanted to learn about. So they immediately jump on the video. You get a bunch of people like that. They're all jumping on your videos quick, which creates view velocity, which is a quick response and a high volume response on a video that sends positive signals to YouTube that says, hey, this might be a successful video. Let's share it with more people. And those are the kind of things that help your channel grow.
And I noticed over here, you had the average, Dan. And by the way, I don't think you're average at all. You're amazing. But if you do want to create a second channel for personal, you could, and then you can set this up. So basically you have, and if you look over here at my YouTube channel, guys, let's go to this one here. Let's see. I just want to show you guys. So one way that you can, so for example, one of the things that I do for everybody is you notice that I have amazing reseller channels over here. So these are all channels that I can put in my own YouTube channel, kind of like how Dan over here put his personal channel over here. So you guys can put your personal channels over here, or you can put other people's YouTube channels that you like over here. And all you do is you edit, which I don't know where the heck the edit button is over here. But right here, right? Customize.
Yeah, you get with the looks like you're in the new version, so you have to customize first and then go into
and then
actually tweak them. Yeah,
I can edit this and add. I can add people like Rally Roots. Oh wait, I had to get their URL, don't I? Give me 2 seconds here, guys. So Rally. You guys know these Rally Roots, right? Yeah, look at these good-looking guys here. Let me go ahead and copy, and then you can come through here. And I think this is a good way to like. I think this is a good way to network too, like because you get cross promotion between channels. So I can add Ryan and Allie in there, and then you guys can see, and it shuffles too because I have a lot of people. So they're down here, but it will shuffle. Did I add them?
Yeah, you might have to click the add button. I think you just went straight to done. There you go. Add up top.
Oh, add. Okay. This is why I have Dan. I ask him so many questions on Instagram.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. See you guys. So you can add Ryan and Ellie. All right. So that's kind of a way to cross promote too. But if you wanted to do it the way Dan did it, you can add over here, or Dan's, sorry, here, right over here. You can add your personal channel over there so people can subscribe to you personally or professionally on this. So. All right, Dan, what do you say? Why don't we pull up a couple channels and kind of go over these, shall we?
Sure.
All right. So we'll pull up the real Stitch here. Now, guys, I can't emphasize this enough. By the way, before we get started, all of the people on this list, I've got permission to pull up their YouTube channels, and they're okay with criticism and tips and tricks, and they want to grow. And so they're on that third tier stage where they want to grow their channel. So Dan's not holding back. He's going to kind of tell how it is. That way we can, that way you guys can get the most out of it. So
right. None of this is personal. Yeah. It's just business. All right. So there's a couple things that stand out on this channel. One of which is obviously the content. You're looking in the past 3 weeks. There's 3 videos. You did a couple videos 3 weeks ago, and then there was like a couple weeks gap, and then there was one a stream 6 days ago, which is a great start. The one thing I would say, try to do your videos landscape as opposed to vertical. That seems to be the case with those first 2 videos. Also try to plan out content that's a little bit longer than the 20 or 45 seconds that I see in those. Obviously, it looks like you might just be getting familiar with the process, which is great. I see you did a live stream, which is a fantastic step in helping to grow your channel. And then earlier, what I was talking about with branding, if you're trying to kind of become known for something, if you want to become a notable or recognizable face or brand in a particular niche, then you want to think about how you're delivering that message. Like here we have the real Stitch. At the top, we have the real Stitch done in one type of logo and then a completely different logo in the icon. What I would say about the one that's actually in the icon, it's very difficult to read. I don't know if that's just because I'm looking at it on the through the Google Hangouts, but it seems like it's kind of a dark on dark. Like the pink on the black is kind of hard to read, and I'm not sure how the thread, what that actually is. If that's like if Stitch is in white thread, is that what I'm seeing there? Yeah. In any case, the logo and the icon and the logo and the channel art are 2 completely separate things. You really want to get something that's consistent across the board. And then you also want to get that branding pulled into your thumbnails. So you want to come up with some type of thumbnail, a custom thumbnail, not just a screen print like these are, that actually identify what's going to be in your videos, and also have some consistent elements that you can pull, same font, the same color schemes, the same type of colors that you're using. If you're somebody that's going to appear in your videos, Google or YouTube has come right out and said how much more clickable a thumbnail with a face making eye contact is with the audience. So that's something that you want to consider. Also, you also need to consider that your YouTube channel, to a very high degree, possibly 50% or more, is going to be viewed on mobile. So you want to make sure that you look at your channel art on a mobile device and make sure that it's not cut off. This one looks like it might get cut off. It's hard to tell. Might be close, but it looks like the H might possibly get cut off at the end of stitch. But in any event, that's something that you want to check as well. Just so people can become familiar with your channel and recognize your content as yours. And obviously, you know, get on making consistent content.
Hey, Dan, do you like, here's my take on it. I mean, you're the expert here, but I almost like prefer having like their face with the clear backgrounds, or, you know, an easy to read, just basically like their face here. What do you recommend for that? Like, do you think that that's a good way to go?
Again, if it's somebody that's going to be in their videos, then the face absolutely makes sense for the icon, because the icon's going, when you're having conversations with people, either in your comment section or the comment section on other channels, that's what's going to appear. So if you're trying to make that personal connection, interacting with them like you're having a conversation, then it absolutely makes sense to have your face in there. The one thing that I would say in that regard, if your face is part of your branding and some, you know, that which you're trying to make recognizable to people, then I would also consider trying to get it in your channel art as well.
And another thing too, and guys, we're not trying to nitpick here, just trying to, like, you know, we want to, I love all you guys, and every single one of these resellers on here have been on my channel. So I know that this is cut off when you look at it mobile, and I think that's a good tip. I want to ask you, Dan, like, so she's, Frenchie is amazing, and she's actually a reseller. Her name is The Real Stitch, but when I look at her banner, it doesn't say anything about reselling. I don't know what this channel's about, right? Do you recommend, like, something different?
Yeah, so go click on the about section and see what's written in there. A lot of times people will include stuff. All right, so you definitely need to create an about section, which basically explains what you're going to be focusing on your YouTube channel. This is important for one, because a lot of times people don't really think about the idea of trying to identify what their channel is about, and writing it down in your about section is a great way to think about it and focus in on exactly what you're doing. And then to that end, you want to make sure that your channel art communicates with people exactly what they're going to expect from your channel. People have really short attention spans. If they happen to make it to your channel, you're already ahead of the game, and you want to make sure that you deliver as much information to them as possible in the shortest amount of time. And that means telling people exactly what they can expect from your channel in your channel art. So, you know, if, like I said, The Real Stitch, maybe a subline below that that tells what you're doing, what type of content they should expect on the channel, and perhaps even the frequency with which you'll be sharing that with them.
And then what's the discussion? What is that? Just different?
So the discussion, there's actually two versions. The old version is the discussion. What they're rolling out now is the community tab. The discussion is basically just an area where you can post comments that people can see across the channel. What they're in the works now, they're replacing that with the community tab that actually allows the owner of the channel to not only post comments, but also post links and photos and videos. And it's a much more interactive experience than just the discussion tab. But yeah, that is just a way that you can place messages. I'm not sure if they're sending out notifications. I don't believe they are on the discussion tab like they are with the community tab. But eventually the discussion tab is going to go away and get replaced with that more interactive community tab.
Okay, and the last thing, I think, I know that you don't have and Frenchie, you, by the way, you are amazing. Guys, go check her out and subscribe. She is literally an up-and-coming, really, really cool reseller. She's so fun to talk to. But another thing, too, guys, is, I mean, Dan, what do you think about, let's go here. What do you think about playlist? Because I feel like if you have playlist, people think like you're an actual, like, mature YouTube channel. They're more likely to subscribe to you, right? Because I mean, I'm not saying I have everything perfect here, but you have, like, you know, my live playlist, my storage unit playlists. And even if you don't have a lot of videos, I think if you put some playlists down here, it may look better, right?
Yeah, I mean, what I usually say definitely you want to create playlists that kind of organize your videos on your main channel page here. My personal preference is the single horizontal playlist, which is basically what I'm doing here. And what it displays is it gives you 5 across your thumbnails and the titles. There's some other options where you can do things vertically, but when people are making the decision about whether or not to watch a video, it usually comes down to the thumbnail and the title. And I found that this is the best way to present that information to them. So you're going to get each of your playlist listed out here. It's also important to get descriptions into your playlist so people know the type of content that are in them. But it's, like I said, back to the point of trying to help them make a decision as to whether or not they should subscribe to your channel. Those horizontal playlists on that page are basically exposing as much of your content in the shortest or smallest amount of space as possible, and really kind of delivering the idea of what your channel is all about. And when all of those things work together and they look like they belong with each other, that kind of gives that professional look that says, hey, this channel knows what it's talking about. I should subscribe to, you know, for whatever the topic happens to be.
I think that's huge. And the last thing is, if you notice, like up here on Dan and then my channel, you can do little clicks here to go to your website or your Patreon or like Linktree, kind of like how he has it there, and then I have it over here. So guys, to do that, I kind of recommend that, because what happens is if people go find you on YouTube and they want to find you on Instagram, they can click this and it'll take you right to your Instagram, and then they can subscribe to you on there. And then also, like, kind of the same thing, you have Linktree that sends them back to YouTube, right? So it's a good way to cross promote to your different social media platforms. So let's go on to the next. I love you, Real Stitch. Love you, Frenchie. Hopefully that helps. We'll go to Rise and Grinds. I was recently on Rise's YouTube channel, and this is Rise and Grinds here. He's a little bit bigger channel. What do you think, Dan? I obviously, I think the videos. So this is the live show we did, guys. Go check it out. But I think the videos should be kind of like, you know, left to right. So it looks like you have more videos that way, right? I mean, what do you recommend here?
Yeah, and again, for the same reasons that my preference is those horizontal playlists, because when you display things in this vertical format, you're getting into descriptions, and I really don't think people are diving into the descriptions of videos when deciding whether or not to watch them. It's basically going to come down to a really good title and a good thumbnail. That's why it's my personal preference. And again, it gives them a lot of information, a lot of you know, pretty pictures to kind of become interested in the shortest amount of space as possible, and get them to actually click on something and hang out at your channel longer. So that's why it's my personal preference. Whereas this, you know, you have to scroll to get to the next playlist, where if you had the horizontal playlists, you might have 2 or 3 of them visible without scrolling.
Let's see. Let me try this to see if it helps with the blurriness there. I think it was just too big. Okay. So
yeah, just yeah. And the one thing, when your live stream first started, the resolution was kind of low, and YouTube on my end set it down to a lower quality. So if you click on the little gear in the lower right hand corner, you might have a quality option higher than what you're seeing. So if you do, you can click on the little gear and up it to like 720 HD. If YouTube stuck you in the lower resolution, because in the beginning it was a little bit of a connection issue.
Where's the gear at? Oh, you mean actually
for people who are watching the live stream? Yeah.
Yeah. So like right here. Oh, I see what you're saying.
But sometimes it gets you stuck in a lower resolution. That's what it was for me. It was all blurry, and I upped it to 720.
Okay.
It's hard to do with one screen like that.
Yeah.
It's like Inception.
This is why I need Dan, guys. Seriously. Okay. Okay. So another thing too, guys, you notice over here, he's got a really awesome YouTube channel that we talked about, right? I don't know if you guys recognize this guy here. So I love Rise and Grind. I do think he needs another like picture here, right? Because it's kind of hard to see him in there. What do you think, Dan?
I don't think that picture is doing a lot for branding purposes. I mean, I can tell it's a picture of a person in a phone booth, but in terms of actually identifying who that is, it's hard to see, and it's also kind of not really interacting or working with the channel art to kind of identify the channel.
And then the one thing that and guys, remember, me and Rise are really good friends. You know, everybody's okay with a little bit of tips. Believe me, I've got room for improvement too. I don't even want to show Dan my YouTube channel. He's already gave me tips, but
the one thing I would say about these thumbnails also is they are way too wordy. The reality is people are not going to spend time reading thumbnails. So you want to, as much as you can, either sell what you're talking about with a picture or try to keep the wording as short and sweet as possible. Also, you want to make sure that you're using high contrast colors so people can actually read what you're writing. Like if you look at the thumbnail that I guess you were on a live stream with, and you look at the black writing on top of a red background, it becomes really muddy and hard to read. So you kind of lose the effect of adding the text anyway, because you know, again, people are seeing these on mobile devices and other smaller formats, and it becomes really hard to read when you're trying to squeeze a lot of text into a thumbnail.
Yeah, and the text is, you know, I like the fat, easy text to read, but
yeah, you want some nice blocky, you know, easy to read. Try to avoid you know, serifed fonts, the one like fonts with feet on them, like Times New Roman and those kind of fonts. You want some nice blocky font. Don't get too fancy on the font, especially when it gets in, you know, to like cursive and those types of scripty fonts that
something easy right here like this, you know. And Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like one thing that I can see a lot of people do and that I did wrong is you weren't doing the small stuff that adds up to big things, right? Like, you know, I just felt like when I first started, I wasn't doing the small things on my channel to like really grow it, you know. And I think some of the smaller things, like the wording, your pictures, like, you know, playlists. Like for example, I don't see any playlists here unless I click here, but I don't see any on the main page. So I just feel like I wasn't doing that small stuff to really improve, you know.
Yeah, and I mean that's really what success on YouTube is all about. It is applying best practices on a regular basis over time, and being consistent with that, and understanding that it's kind of a you know, a marathon, and you're going to be rewarded for you know, keeping up with all those things with each video that you make.
But he's got a lot of content, guys. Go subscribe to his channel. He's got a lot of cool content. He's a fantastic guy. I don't know if he's in chat right now, but and I don't know. This is another thing too, Dan. I don't know. This is probably cut off on the mobile device, guys. And I'll have to show you guys. It's hard to show you, obviously, because I can't pull up my mobile device. But this is probably cut off. All right, so let's go to another one here. We want to be quick now. Let's see, because we've got a lot of people to go through, and they all want their channel reviewed. So here's another one, Thrifty Nomads. What is going on, guys? I love these guys, by the way. They're amazing, Dan. They're amazing. They're amazing. Really cool. A lot of energy. But one video? Dan, tell me what's wrong here. And there's no banner?
And it was one video 3 weeks ago. So yeah, you definitely want to try to be a little more consistent. The banner is key. You definitely want to get that set up as well. Yeah, I mean, when you're just starting out like this, it's important to try to get into that flow of uploading consistent videos. You know, try to do one a week, just to get comfortable with the process, and you know, make it part of your schedule. One of the hardest things on YouTube. A lot of people look at successful YouTubers and think that it's super easy to do, but you know, there's a lot of effort involved, and you know, my thing is to be persistent, consistent, and patient, because you have to get into the habit of doing it the right way and doing it repeatedly to get that growth that you're looking for.
And one thing too, guys, I think is, even though you have one video, you can create a playlist, because this is what, and nothing too, if you look at the top, I can barely see that, but thrifting family video or thrifting family fun, you can create a cool, you know, playlist just to get started. I like them both in this though. This looks good.
The other Yeah, that's not a bad icon. The other thing that I would say is when you're doing your titles, you always want to, if you're doing something like a series, like they did this, like it was a vlog, always put that at the end of your title. You want your title to actually be relevant to your content. You don't want it to, because YouTube is going to look at the relevancy of the title in terms of who is searching for it. And if it's your first video or your 10th video and people don't know who thrifty nomads are, they're not going to be searching for your channel name. They're going to be looking for videos about sourcing. So that's why you want to get your actual title, you know, the meat of what you're actually talking about in the beginning of your title. And then if you want to do something where you're identifying like a vlog serial number or something, you would want to put that at the end of the title.
Yes. And woo, look at all the love over here, Dan. Man, one video and they got a lot of love. I love it.
That's great.
Let's talk about the description. Like, what's going on here? What do you think? Like, should we add more to the description, or is this fine?
Definitely want to get more in the description, and you want to do it in such a way. Ideally, you're targeting a keyword phrase or a topic in your title. So you kind of want to write your description around that and try to include other variations of your keyword phrase in the description. So yeah, I would definitely try to work on kind of fleshing out that description more to give people and YouTube more information about the content that's in your video.
Yeah, and guys, you know, you can share videos too, to different. You know, if you love, like, give some love to Dan later on, you can go to some of his videos and share it on these different different platforms here. Oh crap! What did I get myself into? Okay, here we go. All right, so the main story here, Dan. More videos. You need a banner, guys. Definitely need a banner, I think, that explains what this channel is all about.
And if you don't know how to make a banner, you can go to free sites like canva.com. They actually have a template for creating a YouTube banner. You can set something up there pretty basic. If you don't know what to do graphics wise, just do, you know, a solid color and use your channel name and then a tagline that describes what you're going to be covering on your video. It's better to give them information, you know, and worry about the look and feel of it as you go on.
I wish I would have had TubeBuddy installed on here so like we can see their keywords and kind of show that. But I think, guys, you guys are, man, one video, you guys are doing fantastic. If there's any interview that I've had on my channel, Dan, like, I feel like these guys have the most success. Like, they're amazing. They just got to get more content out there.
That's a great.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go this one here. Liquidation Ohio. Liquidation Ohio. Oh, see the common theme over here, Dan. They love.
I see that.
Yeah. So a couple things, like, at least for me, and remember, I'm no expert here, but there's no playlists. That's a common theme, right? No playlists. If you look, if I have never been to his channel, I had to click more to see more. If he had playlists left to right, I would be able to see a lot more videos.
All right.
So that's that. I mean, you're the expert. What do you think here?
So, I mean, just an example on these thumbnails, they almost look like screen prints. What you would actually want to do, so when you're making a video like this and looks like you're opening these boxes and going through them, instead of just taking a screen print, take 2 seconds before you actually record the video. Grab one of those products that you're pulling out of that box, hold it up close to the camera to get a nice clear picture of it with the box in the background, and upload that as a custom thumbnail. It's going to be a lot more engaging. People are going to clearly be able to see what the product is, and that's going to make them more inclined to actually want to click on it and see more. With the screen prints, I mean, these aren't bad. That's kind of like the general idea of trying to get people enticed by the content of it. But you could take that the extra level and actually take a still photo rather than a still print from the video and make a much, you know, a thumbnail that pops a lot more and gets people's attention more than just taking the screen prints like some of these are doing.
Look at Chris's hair, Dan. He's got some hair going on.
He has more than I do, so I can.
hey, more than us both here.
Yep.
One thing too, correct me if I'm wrong. So before I clicked more, he's got a lot of videos, by the way, but these are all old videos. I mean, which is fine, but that's all he has on his front page. I don't get to see any of his new videos that he popped out. I literally have to go to videos and be able to see it, right? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I would definitely get playlists created, and then I would try to include a variety. You know, try to get at least one playlist on your main page that are your latest videos, and then organize some playlists based on the different types of content that you're covering, a good mix, and get those displayed on your homepage as well. You can take, like when you have popular videos like this, the popular uploads by default is going to give you, some of your highest viewed videos. You can certainly create a playlist with those as well and sort the playlist by most popular descending, which is going to put the highest videos in the front of the list. So you can definitely include those as well. But a lot of times if somebody goes to a channel and they don't automatically see newer videos, that might discourage them and make them think that the channel isn't active and there's just old stuff.
That is smart, Dan. Like, for example, okay, let me just say you're Liquidation Ohio and this one, the same channel, right? So you guys go here and you see 3 or 4 old videos and that's it. You're like, okay, is this still active? But then you go to a channel like this and you see, okay, 4 days, 5 days, 1 week, like he's active, right? That is huge. So, I mean, to me, Liquidation Ohio does not look like he's an active channel.
Yeah, based on how that's currently displayed, a lot of people could get that idea. So it's important to get those playlists listed so people can see not only your most successful stuff, but also your newest stuff.
And I also think over here, his thumbnail needs changed. It's too busy. I mean, I like this, right? But I don't know. Just what do you think?
I mean, it's kind of hard to see what's going on there. It kind of looks like a caricature, but some of the text, it looks like it maybe says, "Oh yeah," or something like that, but it's cut off in that circle format. So you're kind of losing the full effect of it. Also, if that icon or that cartoon is something that you associate with your brand, then I probably go and do something with your channel art that's not just a solid image like that. Again, I mean, it shows people a lot of product, and your name kind of alludes a little bit to what it is that you're doing videos about, but it does not hurt to give that information in your channel art so people know exactly what to expect from your channel.
Yep, and he doesn't have links to send people back to his Instagram or vice versa.
Right.
I think that's
And just a note on the links. If your goal, depending on what your goals are, I mean, if you have a thriving business on some of the other platforms, then yeah, it may make sense to send them over there. Or if you started on them and you're kind of working on YouTube, the one thing I would say is if you're focused on trying to grow your YouTube channel, YouTube rewards you for the amount of time that you keep a person on YouTube, not only on your channel, but also on YouTube itself. They refer to it as session time. So in the beginning, when you're trying to grow your channel, I would try to limit your links in the upper right-hand corner to just another subscribe link that's pointing back to your YouTube channel to subscribe. And then as you grow, you may be able to add some of your other social media to the right side of that. But I would definitely start with that and try to keep people engaged with YouTube, because like any platform, they all have their own motives. They're trying to make money and they don't want channels that are shooting people off of YouTube. They want people to stay as long as possible. So keep that in mind. You're trying to keep people on the platform, which is going to reward YouTube. And the more successful you are at doing that, the more YouTube is going to reward you by promoting your content.
That's smart. And the banner, I think, is, I don't know what's going on here. I see a lot of goodies, but as a reseller, I know what's going on, but as a non-reseller or maybe a new reseller, I don't know what's going on here, right?
Yeah. And I mean, it might be a good backdrop to some more information, but I think it falls a little bit short of communicating exactly what people should expect from the channel.
I just see Callie's in the house. Let me know if we need your channel reviewed, Callie. I'm joking. You have an amazing channel, guys. Go check her out. All right, so let's continue on, guys. I want to be respectful of Dan's time, but like the guy is just crushing it over here. All right, so let's go to Primetime Treasures. I was waiting to introduce Primetime because Primetime Treasures gave a $20 super chat. He's gave a $50 super chat. He has been super supportive of me, and I appreciate you, Primetime. He's got a fantastic YouTube channel. Dan, like this guy is super amazing. He is like way knowledgeable when it comes to reselling, like way more than me. And he needs to have like 20,000 people following him. And he's got, if you look here, Dan, he's got like hundreds of videos. Like he's been doing it longer than I have. So let's be brutal on Primetime. He can take it because I want to help him out and get him going to where he needs to be, because more people needs to know about Primetime Treasures. So what do you recommend here? Be brutal. Be brutal.
So the channel art, obviously there's kind of a treasure theme going on up there, but it's not really communicating what the channel's about. The channel name is not really doing that either. Primetime Treasure. Is that like there's too much ambiguity there to really understand what the channel is actually communicating, and you really need to dig into the content to kind of figure that out. And like I said, short attention spans, you want to make it as clear and concise as possible for people so they know exactly what's going on when they visit your channel. Like you said, he has great content to offer. You want to make sure that people know that right off the bat when they visit the channel, and they don't lose interest before they dig in and find the good stuff. So to that end, I would probably try to get some more information in that channel art that basically describes what you're focusing on. Click on the about section, see if there's a fleshed out about section.
We have nothing. Dan.
Definitely need to get, again, this is all metadata. This is all helping YouTube understand exactly what your channel is about. And that's what is needed to get your stuff, your content in front of people who are interested in seeing it. Obviously, in the community, you guys have a real strong community, and people are, working back and forth and watching each other's content. But click on the videos tab real quick, because I want to see how many videos.
He's got a lot.
A lot of videos.
And here's the thing about the videos. Like, I'm telling you, this guy he's amazing, but his like he needs help, I think, we need to get something going here for the thumbnails, right?
I would definitely try to come up with a strategy for the thumbnails. I see a lot of thumbnails that seem to have way too much wording on them, whether they're screen, they just kind of seem to be all over the place. Now, individually, a video may be able to work out that way if you have a really strong thumbnail and it's not matching everything else. But in this case, there's kind of a mix. I see some on-camera shots, so obviously he is present frequently in his videos. So that's something to consider as being part of the branding of the channel. I see his picture in the icon as well. So maybe you get a cutout of your image, you throw it up in your channel art, you throw the name up there, and then you throw a tagline that says covering XYZ. I mean, still sitting here, I'm not 100% sure what the actual focus is of the channel. Like I see huge Jack Daniels signed score, 1,000 subs, haunted house sale. I just feel like there could be some more structure around the type of content, and playlists are going to help you kind of hone that in. And they're also going to help you kind of decide what type of content to make as you fill out your playlists.
And Dan, like one thing too that I actually learned from you is, you see it says what sold on eBay. I think that's really cool. But if you look at yours, you can put information up here, like more information. You know what I mean? Like, for example,
the other thing that you need to consider is your playlist titles are they're searchable. They can show up in search results. So whenever possible, consider making your playlist titles an actual searchable keyword phrase, just like you would on a video. One of the strategies that some YouTubers use is they take their most successful video from a playlist that is related. So like I have a playlist that's called How to Get 1,000 Subscribers and 4,000 Watch Hours, because that's a video that did really, really well on my channel. And that includes other videos related to the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. But the playlist itself can show up in the search results based on how it's titled.
That's smart. What is the CC down here real quick?
That's a closed captioning designation.
Okay.
So yeah, YouTube has the option of turning on a language and by default having it set up closed captioning, but it seems to have been flaky recently because some of my videos didn't end up with it, even though they should have. But the way it was supposed to work or is supposed to work is that if you set the language on a video, that YouTube should do closed captioning automatically. I don't know if that's available in every country, but I know at least here in English in the US, that was happening. And I seem to have counted a few videos where it didn't work. So I don't know if it's just a bug in the YouTube system or not.
Well, guys, go subscribe to Primetime. The guy's amazing. Like, literally.
Congrats to him on 1,000 subs, by the way.
Yes. Congrats, guys. Go subscribe to him. And I think the banner needs to be changed. Like, I think I talked to Primetime. I was like, you got to get somebody that is good graphic design and create something cool for you. And I think even too, I know it's nitpicky, Dan, but like if he takes this fantastic photo and just whites out the background, man, it would pop so much. I think he can do it for this video.
Yeah, always think about contrast when you're trying to come up with the designs on YouTube. Again, a lot of people are looking at this stuff on a phone and it's small, so you really need to make things pop. And having good contrast in your designs and your images and stuff are going to help you a lot in that regard.
And Dominic, thank you so much for the $20, man. You've always been so supportive of me, and I really do appreciate it. Sorry I missed it. I don't have chat pulled up here, so all right. So let's go on to the next one here, and then we're almost to the point here, and then we'll got a couple more questions, and we'll let Dan go. But here we got reselling niche. Oh man, he's got a podcast. He's more of a it's a reselling channel, but it's podcast basically. Dan. So it's all about reselling, but it's all podcast stuff. So dive into this. Like, I think his banner's interesting. Like, I think he's actually got the best banner so far because it shows, like, you kind of know what he's all about, right?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. I mean, there's a lot to take in there, but yeah, I mean, it certainly seems to be presenting.
Wait. Dan, we gotta be brutally honest because I love these guys. So you think it's maybe a little bit less?
I think it's a little over busy.
Okay.
I mean, I love the fact that he's communicating all the different. I'm assuming all the different platforms that he either talks about or interacts with. I just don't know if all 30 of them should be in the channel art. And one of the ways that you can actually do this. So, you have a lot of space. You have a lot of space on a mobile or on a desktop version here. So the space to the left or the right can certainly be used on desktop. So what you might want to be, or what you can do to make it a little less cluttered, is kind of take advantage of that space on desktop and not worry about it on mobile. So some of these icons, like take your most, your higher level icons here, maybe Amazon and eBay, or I don't know what the breakdown is specifically in his focus, and then maybe spread some of the other ones out to the left and right. So they're only going to show up on desktop.
That's smart.
The other thing is, again, if you want your YouTube channel simply to drive traffic off of YouTube, one, it's going to be kind of hard to do if you're not growing your YouTube channel. So you might want to grow it to a certain degree first. And to that end, I wouldn't put a Facebook group in my channel art until I had grown a certain size YouTube channel. Because again, you're trying to grow the channel itself, and then you can use it for other purposes after you've set up something substantial on the YouTube platform. This way, if you're kind of focusing or shooting everybody out, we have Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I see SoundCloud up there, all kinds of links that are pushing people everywhere but YouTube. And as a result of that, the YouTube channel itself is going to suffer. But if you focus on the act of actually trying to grow the YouTube channel and putting all your energy on YouTube towards YouTube, then it's going to give you that much stronger a platform that is ultimately going to be in a much better position to push traffic to your other areas. Now that's it. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, Dan, he's got a really good description here. I like his so far. It's got social media up here, kind of what it's all about. And
yeah. And it starts out right in the beginning. One of the things that I always say when you're writing a description, a lot of people like to give like their backstory and who they are and why they do what they do. Always lead your description with the headline or the main talking point of the channel. Then you can get into your backstory. And it's a good job here. Reselling video podcast about eBay, Amazon, etc. So in that regard, that's strong there. I just might find a way to rethink the channel art a little bit.
Dan, what do you think about like Mo? Because this is him right here. What do you think about him holding a mic for the picture here? I don't really. I think this is like, again, I'm a big fan of like person to person contact. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean the thing that icon kind of looks like it was made for something else and forced into the circle. Just the way that I'm looking at it there. So
forced into the circle.
Well, I mean,
no, we get it. That's funny though.
It's just really hard. And it's very common because people have these great icons and logos and stuff, and they want to reuse them in other places or everywhere they can. And then YouTube goes and gives you a circle to deal with. So it's certainly understandable, but you kind of have to adapt to what YouTube is letting you work with here. So, yeah, I mean, I see the microphone. Is that the podcast logo perhaps?
Yeah, probably.
To that regard, thinking about actually branding, and this is focused on the podcast, then I would be showing that podcast logo front and center up in the channel art and not be focused on all the topics you talk about. I mean, I talk about YouTube best practices, but I don't list all the best practices in my channel art. It's just, reselling or, reselling content, podcast focused on, the top reselling platforms versus every selling you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and not that it's irrelevant to the topic. It's just all about getting people, getting short attention spans to focus on clicking on subscribe and sticking around for more content.
And I think he did really good with the playlist. Man, Mo, you did great on the playlist. I like that. It shows that you're a legit channel. You know what I mean?
Got the horizontal playlist. I would just get some descriptions in those playlists. You can go in when you go into you can go in and add the descriptions in Creator Studio.
Yep. I tried to do that too on mine, seeing little descriptions, live reseller interviews, discovering amazing people. But we're not here for Wade because I know Dan's gonna tear me apart. All right, so really cool. Last thing is, guys, if you look at my YouTube channel, again, I'm not saying, hey, look at me, but you see how it's this size. It's this fits for mobile. So when you pull it up on mobile, like you can see this whole area. And that's what I think Dan's talking about. You can put stuff over here. You won't see it in mobile, but when they pull it up in desktop, they'll see it on the left and right hand side.
Yeah. So there's actually there's a template that's out there that somebody made that actually it shows you all the different areas in channel art and where they're going to display on multiple platforms. You can actually go to I have it available to download on my website if anybody wants to take a look at it, but you can throw it into something like Photoshop or GIMP, which is a free version of Photoshop. And it just shows you where to position things and how they're going to show up on mobile and desktop and YouTube TV and all the different things to kind of help you, kind of arrange the different pieces of your channel art.
Yep. And guys, Dan, what do you recommend for creating thumbnails? I mean, TubeBuddy's good. Do you have any other websites that they can create really good thumbnails?
Like I said, canva.com for channel art. They do thumbnails on that as well. TubeBuddy does have the custom thumbnail maker. I actually use GIMP, which is a free version of Photoshop. There's a lot of tutorials that are available for free on YouTube on how to do that. But yeah, I mean, those are, if you look up, I mean, if you do a Google search on YouTube thumbnails or free YouTube thumbnails, I'm sure there's a bunch of free websites like Canva out there that people use. And then there's some actual mobile apps that people use, like Pixelmator is one on iOS. I think you got to pay a couple bucks for it, but it allows you to create thumbnails on an iPhone.
Mr. Pac-Man, Dan, I have the most amazing. You have some good admins, but I've got a really good admin in my YouTube channel, and he just donated $20. He has been so fantastic. I appreciate you. I can't wait to hang out with you in Vegas next year, Mr. Pac-Man. I appreciate. No need to do that because you already do so much for me, but I appreciate it, man. Dan, real quick. Another thing too is, like, let's see. I'm trying to think if. Oh, right here, Dan. You see basically how I put hashtag YouTube and hashtag tips. Do you recommend that, like, in the description? That's where you put it, guys, in the description, just hashtags.
So here's the deal about hashtags is YouTube introduced them, but they didn't really give a whole lot of information about how they intended for them to be used and what the actual value is. Brian G. Johnson actually did a video recently that was kind of interesting, where he suggested that they could actually have the potential of hurting your channel, in the sense that if people see those hashtags, they're clickable right below your video and they click on them while they're watching your video, if you click on one of those hashtags that you added right now, there's a good chance that you're going to go to a list of videos that don't include any of your videos, and you're basically sending somebody away from your channel. So it may be something that you want to kind of use sparingly until YouTube actually figures out what they intend to do with them and how they're supposed to be effective for helping your channel grow.
Dan, how was it meeting this guy?
Gary V he's a cool dude. He's super high energy in person, just like you'd expect him to be on or that you see him in all the content that he makes, but he takes the time, true to his word, to make time for everybody. This was at Vid Summit last year. Vid Summit's a great place to go to learn how to grow your online video business. It has some great people that speak at it. Gary V was one of the keynote speakers. As you can see, there's some other cool people out there. A lot of people in my niche that kind of teach how YouTube works.
Oh, I know Daryl Eves.
Yep, Daryl Eves is actually the one that Vid Summit is his baby. So he's the one who hosts Vid Summit. And yeah, I mean, it's just super valuable information. I keep hearing you talk to people about Vegas. Is that some kind of conference for resellers?
Same exact thing, but for eBay Open.
Yeah. So I mean, this is kind of the premier event for the business side of YouTube and understanding how everything works. I'm heading out there again here in a couple weeks in October. Just a lot of really successful people sharing their secrets about how to grow on YouTube. So
Dan is amazing, guys. All right, let's go on to the next one. I don't want to take. I know you got a little one, right, Dan?
I have two little ones.
Uh-oh, you're kind of
little-ish ones. I have a 8 and a 12-year-old.
Wow, you do not. You're gonna live until you're 120. You're aging really well. I looking like I'm old, and I've only got a two-year-old. So, all right, so let's go. First of all, Dan, I know what your eyes are gonna go to this middle part here, knowing that it fits on mobile. Good job, Moonlight.
It's definitely going to fit on mobile. Actually, it's with some room to spare. That could actually be a little bit wider. But yeah, it's definitely going to fit on mobile. The one thing I would say, again, while you're trying to focus on growing your YouTube channel, is not to put social media links in your channel art. I don't know if he has a bigger following on Instagram or what that is there. I do see the Instagram link on the right as well. But when you're first starting and growing your channel, I try to minimize those external links and just keep people focused on your YouTube content. We've got uploads.
And by the way, I got to get a new banner too, but like, let me show you guys, if you want anybody to, Ryan Alley, they do everything amazing, right? But look at I didn't get permission to do this for them, but look at how like the white background, it shows up really, really nice. Look how easy to read his thumbnails are. And he shows I mean, he has an amazing YouTube channel, guys. So if you want anybody to model off of, he's pretty cool. But like, look how nice, pure white, easy to read background. He's got his website and Instagram. That's it. So I guess, I got to do that too, Dan. I need to redo my banner. You've inspired me. But there's no playlist here. I think that's one thing, right? I mean, that's a common theme. And that's the about page there.
Following this part-time eBay seller journey. Thanks for. So yeah, I would try to flesh out that first line and kind of explain what it's going to be about. I mean, it's a general topic there. But I would, try to describe the goals of the channel, what you're hoping to cover, whether you're providing, just like, watch my journey, or I'm going to share the things that I learn, or is it a vlog type channel that's just following you around and the stuff that you're doing. The more that you can kind of explain that. And it's really common when a channel first starts to not really know what that direction is. Like that other channel, my other channel, The Average Dan, it started out as kind of a how to, you know, fix it problem kind of channel, and then eventually evolved into RV camping. And, you know, it can take a little while if you don't have a clear direction, but you guys doing the reselling thing, you know, just try to elaborate as much as possible on the type of content that you want to share with people.
And by the way, he lives in the same city or same state, pretty much same city as me. He's an amazing reseller, guys. Go check him out. Subscribe, just like everybody that's been on here. They're really cool people. I think one thing too, Dan. Again, it comes down to the photo here. Well, first of all, when I look at his, if I was a reseller but a new reseller, I would look and I would kind of figure this would be a new channel, and it is a new channel. I get that, but if there was more, if he created playlists, because he's got a good amount of videos, so if he created a few playlists and filled up that main page, I would feel like ready to subscribe, you know, because I feel like he would have a lot of content. Right now, it just looks like he has 6 videos, so I don't know.
Yeah, and again, try to think about, and this is kind of one of the biggest things that I see when people first starting out and trying to do the branding thing. Most of us aren't graphic designers, so we run into the issue. Like, I look at the first couple of videos there on the right, and it has like the block of the entire logo there. There's websites like Fiverr.com where you can get people to do like graphic design working for you. You know, maybe you go and you say, hey, I want just the M on the moon, and make that an individual logo. And then you use that for the branding on your actual thumbnails. Because it looked like there was an attempt at some of these videos to kind of include that as branding, which was a good approach. But obviously using the whole big block kind of gets a little messy because it's bringing the same size font from the channel art, which just can't be read on a thumbnail. And then we kind of went to kind of this bluish background, which is almost looks like it. You know, there were some thoughts about branding there and using consistent colors, but there's still a little too much variety in like the colors and the text and stuff. And then I see the last video where it actually has him in the thumbnail, which is a great, you know, great thing for building branding. But I would also try to get him in the channel art as well and try to make him a consistent image on the thumbnails.
I agree, and right here, like probably something that's not as busy, right? I mean, hey, we all love to have a good time, but it doesn't match. I don't feel like it matches, and I'm not an expert here, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't really tell what he's holding in his hand from.
Yeah, but amazing reseller, and I appreciate that, Dan, because this guy, just like Primetime Treasures, like they more people should be following him. He's really, really cool. So,
And just one thing to consider is, like I said, it's a marathon. So don't feel like on any of these channels or any things that we've talked about tonight that you have to make all these changes immediately. You just make, you know, maybe this week, hey, I'm going to try to make a small improvement on my channel art, or I'm going to try to make a small improvement on my thumbnails. There's plenty of time to make these changes as time goes on. You don't have to tackle all of them at once. Just commit to something, you know, one little change, and then over time, all those little changes turn into big changes. And before you know it, you look back at your channel and you have a much more professional presentation than you did. And you're getting a lot more views and your channel's growing. So just understand there's plenty of time to do it. Have the patience and the, you know, persistence to start making those little changes as time goes on.
yeah, the blue up here is cool, but it really highlights the empty white down here too. So he did mention that he tried to make he has playlists, but they're not showing up on the main page, and he doesn't know why.
So yeah, so once you have playlists, you click on home, and then you when he's looking at this particular page, somewhere just below his channel art to the right, there's going to be a little gear. If
Let's
you
show it on mine here real quick.
yeah, so if you go into
Customize channel, right?
click on customize channel, that's the newer version.
Yeah. Okay, 1 second, and then right here.
Click on that gear. In there, there's an option to customize the layout of your channel right in the middle. He needs to make sure that that's turned on. Right down, customize the layout of your channel.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
one above it right there.
Yep.
Make sure once that's turned on, then it will allow you to add multiple playlists to your homepage.
Yes.
So that's right. That's why you have it. His is probably turned off if he's not given that option. And once he goes in to do that, there's going to be either you see that button that says, so hit cancel, and you'll either be on this page right here, And when you scroll down to the bottom, it'll highlight a little option to add sections, which yours might be all maxed out there. That's where you would add a section, and you would select playlist single playlist horizontal. And then to go down to single playlist
right here.
Yep. And then horizontal. And then in that thing, you click that drop down and you actually select the playlist to the right where it says find playlist, lower right there. That's actually going to show you all your playlists. So you pick one, you hit done, and then it's rinse and repeat. You do that as many times as you can to get as many playlists displayed there as possible.
You can also do a playlist called Dumpster Diving as Chicken Ramen Noodle if you want, guys.
I heard that's very popular.
Hey, Dan, good, big question here, my man.
All right.
Are we a chicken or are we a beef? Are we a beef or chicken ramen noodle fan here?
I'd probably go with chicken.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, honestly, I'm 41, so I try to avoid ramen. But otherwise,
okay, yeah. All right. Oh shoot, wrong one out. Okay. All right. So guys, go subscribe to Moonlight. Amazing guy, and I hope that helped, buddy. I do this all out of love for you guys. I do this for love. Okay. All right. So we got two more. Uh-oh, Dan, I do not want you holding back on this one, my man. Okay. Don't hold back on this one. All right. What do we got here?
All right. So channel art again. I kind of see some of you guys, but if you want to use a picture like that, you definitely want to make sure it's framed properly. I see looks like you guys have a haul in the back of that car, but it kind of gets lost because it's just a photograph that's not optimized for the channel art space. I have no idea what's going on in the icon.
I told her that too.
It looks like it might be cool, but the colors don't contrast really well, and it's so small you can't really tell what it is. So that might be something that they might want to tweak. Looking at your thumbnails, I like the fact that I'm seeing the repetitive face in the thumbnails, but there's way too much text in those ones with the white blocks. The goal on the thumbnail is not to repeat your title, or I'm not really sure, sales. You want to be able to tell the story with the picture, not so much with a paragraph. So you really want to boil down any words that you use to maybe 2 or 3 words. And they need to be large and blocky and high contrast with the background. If you do have a photograph or something or an image in the background, you don't just want to slap text on there. You definitely want to do like a drop shadow or something behind it, or an outline. So as the colors change in the background, you don't lose part of the words, so people can actually read them. So
for example, look at this. So we got keyword research tool for lightning fast results, but then we only have very few words here, like editor tutorial. But look at this big old title here, right? That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, your thumbnail and your title shouldn't repeat each other. They should work together to help deliver a message. When people are scrolling through a bunch of videos, your thumbnail is there to kind of get them stopped long enough to interest them, to capture their attention among all the other thumbnails, to the point at which they'll slow down long enough to read your title. So it's not one or the other. They actually are, they should be working together as a team to get people to click on your video.
Dan, by the way, my man, look at this. If I didn't know better, you're a actor / model over here. You got some good stuff going over here. So all right, so definitely, I know that they will, but got to really get probably a new banner. And like, by the way, she is amazing, and her husband is. He's got to be working out every single day. He's a buff guy. He's really, really cool. So maybe get them 2 pictures in here. But I don't know that this is a reselling / estate sale channel by looking at it. So, but I think this is just a temporary thing, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do you think about, there is no play. Oh, wait, we have one playlist. But here's the problem, Dan. Like, it's a clickable playlist and you can play all, but I don't see like.
Yeah, I'm not so they actually have 2 different playlists there. But they're listing the playlists versus spreading out an individual playlist. I'm not a big fan of this because the way they display it's not really optimized for stuff. It doesn't let people see any of your content. So rather than listing created playlists, I would take each one of those playlists individual, list it as a horizontal single playlist, and then you'll have 3 rows of content to share with people.
Yeah, just like this is what he's referring to, like one playlist, and you got, a bunch of videos here. Because I do have. Oh wait, no, I don't even have that. I thought I did have that where it just played all, but I guess I don't. So yeah, okay, all right. So all right, let's the ultimate test here, Dan. Let's see what we got.
So this is kind of a successful online eBay business. What I'm looking for in this description is where we get into what we also do educational videos. We stream estate sales where our viewers on Facebook. So, maybe you do something like live estate sales and reseller education or reseller tips and tricks, and you kind of lead with that summary before you get into all the background of the husband and wife team and all of that. Because when your channel gets shared in other places on social media or it gets previewed, it's only going to show the first so many characters of your description underneath your channel. So you want to make sure that you're giving a concise description of the type of content that you're doing, not so much your backstory. And then you can get into your backstory for the people who want to know more about you in the about section. But you just want to lead with kind of a succinct, concise description of what you're all about. And to that end, I would take that same type of thing that you're including in those first couple sentences of your about and try to include some of that information, maybe in bullet point format within your channel art itself, so people know exactly what to expect from your channel.
They've got some great videos. Just every single one of these people, like I adore. They're really, really cool. And one thing here, Dan, look, nothing, no description in the video.
Oh yeah, see that's going to make it really difficult for people to find your content. I mean, obviously, like you guys seem to have a really strong community among all of you resellers, which is great. So you're going to get some traffic that way. But you also want to, again, do some keyword research, some SEO to get people who may not be aware of you yet to be able to find your content through searching and other means.
Yep. And real quick, Dan, one of the things that you guys should be doing is like obviously responding to comments, but also like there's some things you're supposed to pin a comment like for search results, right?
Yeah. So one of the things you can do to kind of drive more traffic to your channel is whenever you do a video, you want to try to find another video of a similar topic on your channel. And you actually take the link of that and its title and you paste it into a comment in the comment section. And then on the right-hand side of that comment, there'll be 3 little dots. You click on those 3 dots and then you click on pin it, and that'll pin that particular comment to the top of the comment. So when people come to check out your videos, like, this one, and then they scroll down,
Pin right here.
Right. The very first thing that they're going to see is that, that suggestion for more content, more related content to what they just watched. And it can help you get even more views and more watch time and keep that person engaged in your channel and watching as much content as possible.
And guys, while we're on this, if you're watching this after the fact, Dan, Creator Fundamentals, YouTube and Instagram links are down below, and TubeBuddy, which I highly recommend if you want to be just to help you YouTube it all. I wish I had this downloaded, Dan, but click this and this will get you to TubeBuddy, guys. All right, so we have one more channel, but I again, like, they're a new channel, but man, they're amazing. Like how I like that like there, guys. I liked it. So all right, so let's go on to the last one, Dan, then we'll be done here. Let's see. All right. So the last one, Hollywood. Have you been to Hollywood, Dan?
I've been to Los Angeles, but not specifically Hollywood.
Okay, now you're going to be at Hollywood here. You're in Hollywood. All right, so she's amazing. Just started out YouTube, and so unleash. What do we need to make her super successful here?
More information in the channel art. Again, with the idea of communicating to people exactly what you're offering on your channel. Obviously, we see, eBay and Poshmark, I guess it's pronounced.
Yep.
What is Poshmark? I see you guys mentioning it all over the place. I've never heard of it.
That was my next question, Dan. All right, 1 second, my man. Let me show you, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna get you a nice T-shirt. Oh wait, yeah, Poshmark. I thought it'd be cooler page in this, but yeah, it's kind of like eBay where you can buy
Gotcha.
stuff. So
Okay. So yeah, I mean, obviously eBay and Poshmark are related to the content that's being covered here, but somebody just happening upon this channel, doesn't really know what about eBay and Poshmark you're covering. Again, when you're a reseller, it's, are you using your channel to actually resell? Are you using your channel as an education platform to teach others how to do it? Are you sharing your story in vlog format? You kind of want to communicate or illustrate the type of content that you're doing within your niche, so people really understand what the value add is and whether or not, whether they're looking for something recreational or educational. The more that you can communicate to them to that when they first visit the page, the better. So here, find out how we created a six-figure life by investing and hustling. So if that's the case and you're talking about being resellers, then, you do Hollywood Rage, learn how to generate a six-figure income, or, some variation of that as, the few words possible. I mean, that would be a great tagline to put in your channel art that would say, hey, I really want to know what these people are doing and how they're doing it, rather than what is that background? Is
yeah,
that, I'm not sure if it's,
that's I don't know.
it almost, at first I thought it was like carpet, and I don't know if it's like gold.
Yeah,
I see little sparkles, but,
yeah,
um,
and I think that another thing too is a lot of people don't realize. So right here, let's say right here where the little shiny thing is, and then right here, that's all people, guys. Just like YouTube, eBay is going to mobile now. Like more people are shopping on mobile than ever before. So think of this as like um, editing your YouTube or excuse me your eBay ads to mobile friendly. So you got to have mobile.
right. Yeah, so both of those are going to get chopped off. You're going to end up with like Bayposh, or some variation of that on mobile, which probably at least half of your audience is going to be watching from. So, but yeah, definitely, if you're going to put something like that, how we share how we earn six figures or something like that. You tell people that you've made six figures from doing this, and you're going to share your tips and tricks. They're going to be all over wanting to subscribe to your channel and learning how you did it.
Oh, yes.
So, make that the value add, make that what you build your content around, and say, hey, if you want to learn, how we did it, subscribe to the channel, that kind of thing.
I do like her icon though. I think that's pretty decent right here.
Yep. It's zoomed. I mean, you can see her, and it's relevant to the channel. Obviously, you can tell by the thumbnails below that she is in her video, so that makes sense.
And playlist. I mean, it feels like a vast ocean of white here, Dan.
Yeah, click on playlist. Are there actually any playlists created?
Let's see. There's one.
Okay. So yeah, and again, this channel might not even have customization turned on, so that's something that they might want to do as well.
Yeah. So, and remember, guys, customization. You just you guys rewind it.
Okay, yeah. Rewind and watch, right?
All right. So, and then so yeah, new banner playlist if we can. And so let's click a video here real quick, Dan, and see what we got for the description. Oh, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Let's see. Tallahassee Goodwill, bin reviews and haul video. Yeah, I mean, that would just be, again, and some of these things are kind of challenging to try to find, like searchable title type content. You might be able to look for things like bin reviews or hauls and stuff, and kind of reword your title in such a way that you might be able to get the front of it to be searchable. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, if that's not the case and you're just sharing your experience, that is all identified in the description.
All right, guys. Let's see. Give me 1 second here. All right. I gotta pop this up so I can see Dan's amazing face here. Let's see. Oh wait, stop. Right here, Dan, right here. Give me one. Oh my gosh, I feel like we were like ghosts for a little bit, didn't you? Oh my gosh, it's dark out here. Give me 1 second. Let me brighten this things up. Okay. So 5 more minutes, and then we gotta let Dan go because literally, poor guy, he won't be able to tuck his kids in for bed. It's so late. But and you're on the East Coast too. So I just want to say, guys, let me know in chat if you guys think this was helpful. Like, let me know in chat if you guys think that this helped you. It helped me. I've learned a lot. I'm gonna change my thumbnails up, and I just want to preface like this has, I don't want people to get the wrong impression here. This is not us like critiquing. You know, we're just trying to provide value and tips real time. Okay, so I don't want this to think that's being critiqued. And let's try to get let me know in chat, guys. I'm gonna put Dan on the hotspot here. Oh, I'm like really bright. I'm a ghost. I'm gonna put Dan on the hotspot here. Maybe once every couple months when he's not busy, doing amazing stuff. Maybe we can have him back on the channel, and you guys that didn't get reviewed can get reviewed, or better yet, Dan, can you explain like what you do on your YouTube channel? Because you do reviews all the time, right?
Yeah, so I do, in addition to weekly content, all kinds of topics that are related to best practices in growing on YouTube. Every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, we do a subscriber hangout Q&A live stream, just an opportunity to hang out, ask questions about your channel. We do channel reviews, take a look at channels, same way we did tonight, look at some areas that we can improve on. And things that you can do to grow your channel. Again, it's a lot of the small things. Looking at somebody else's channel review will often give you guys ideas for your own channels because it's a lot of repetition. A lot of people are always looking for some super secret strategy that nobody else knows about. But the reality is it's just hard work and dedication and best practices over time, on that marathon to success here on YouTube. So.
And Dan, I think that's on eBay when we do our photos, like that's one thing that sells is the photo, right? It gets people in the door, and I think a lot of people miss on that. Like they do amazing eBay photos, but when they comes to their YouTube, they just they got to get like nicer photos, nicer like banners, nicer backdrops.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like that, just like buying stuff, that gets people to subscribe, right?
Yeah. And I mean, another thing, like a couple different times we talked about, getting your face in your channel art. And a lot of people can struggle with that. I know in the very beginning, I wasn't a graphic designer. I didn't know how to cut out the background on an image to create a nice silhouette that you could use in all your graphics and your channel art and your icons and stuff. But there are services out there that you can do that can do that for you. If you need a couple images with the background cut out, they're not, there's, like I said, the Fiverr's out there. I've actually done it for channels as well. That's something that's available on my website. Also, if you're really in the need for that, to do a couple of those, but little things like that, there's a lot of affordable resources, and they can really go a long way in helping you get over those hurdles of not having to take a big block out of your channel art and trying to make it fit into your thumbnails. So little things like that can go a long way. They don't cost a lot of money, but they can send you down that path to kind of getting a more professional look, and helping to grow your channel here on YouTube.
And guys, remember, one reason why I like Dan's channel, and the reason that the reason I'm subscribed to you, Dan, is you have great content, but I want to be informed when changes are made. And just like I messaged you a week ago about Teespring, where you can add your own T-shirts to the bottom of videos. So highly recommend you guys subscribe to Dan's channel, so that way when new stuff comes out on YouTube, you can take advantage and get more people to see your journey, guys. That's ultimately what the goal here is, to get more people to see your journey. Man, I'm white. I can't get this thing fixed here. And that's the struggles of YouTube, right, Dan?
Yeah, struggles with live streaming, but
all right, guys. Well, anything else you can think of before we go, Dan? Anything else that you can think that they may need, just as a go-to, like YouTube wise?
I mean, the one thing that I would recommend, obviously you guys have shown through all the awesome support that your subscribers here have given you. The community is really big on YouTube as well. It's really important to interact with other people who are trying to achieve the same goals that you are. To that end, there's a lot of Facebook groups out there that you can join, interact with other people that have those similar goals. You can actually, their Creator Fundamentals actually has a Facebook group as well. You can either search Creator Fundamentals or just go to facebook.com/Creator Fundamentals. That may be my page. If you throw groups in there, just search for Creator Fundamentals. You'll find it all out there. But you don't have to join my group. There's other groups out there as well if you find one that meets your needs better. But it's really helpful to get involved in the community and kind of get a feel for what everybody's talking about, what everybody's working on, and how they're getting past the hurdles that they encounter.
And if you liked the reviews, guys, he does this every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern.
And so you guys can see him do other channels and then just, put your channel in that perspective. And I'm sure that there's more things that you guys can do to improve. So I know there's a lot of improvement I got to do. And I'll have him. He actually, Dan, I don't know if you remember, but you reviewed my channel back in the day. You probably don't remember, but I sent you a super chat and you reviewed it. This was back when I had a few hundred subscribers. So, but
yeah, I believe I recall it.
There's only hundreds of them, so I'm sure.
I know, right? Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that being said, I appreciate you, Dan. I spent 2 hours of your life on this channel. And Moonlight, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Before we cut off, I hope this, guys. I really hope this helped you. Like, I want to help people succeed. I feel like that I have a platform in which I can have people come on live with me and help them grow their social media in the reselling front. That's pretty much all I want to go. Everybody else, Dan is the man. But so that's why I wanted to have him on the channel. I've been bugging him for a while. And so I appreciate that super chat. I really hope it helps. And then also I missed another super chat from our last amazing husband and wife team. The in her own words, handsome hunk he is. So I appreciate that super chat. I really do hope this helps you guys. Thank you so much if you came from Ryan and Allie's YouTube channel. And Callie, you are amazing. Go check out her YouTube channel. She's always super supportive. You guys notice I got the hat. I've been wearing it for a week straight, guys, and I'm not going to wash it. So thank you so much for coming. And Dan, again, I appreciate it. If you're watching this after the fact, Dan's YouTube channel, and if you want to stalk him on Instagram, which I do, is down below in the description. And then TubeBuddy, enough is said with them. Like, they are amazing. If your guys are not going to pay for the paid version, at least download it. It will change everything you do. Like, keyword searches are really easy. You can set different folders for different types of videos. And guys, real quick, Dan, one thing that you can also do is when you go to somebody's YouTube video, you can't see what they use for keywords. But if you have TubeBuddy downloaded, and I think even the free version, you can see what keywords they use for their videos, right?
Yep. You can also click. You also get a thing called Channelytics that you can click on that actually shows you how that particular channel is growing in comparison to yours. So you can see their views and their subscriber count and things like that. So yeah, definitely a helpful tool. Like you said, a lot of that stuff comes with the free version. So definitely check out the free version. And as you become more familiar with it, you may find some value in upgrading to some of the paid tiers they have.
Yeah, and I do the paid tier, guys, because I just feel like if I want to be all in, if I'm going to be all in. So that's just me. But all right, Dan, thank you so much for joining. Thank you guys for joining. We have a live show tomorrow. We have a live show Thursday, and we have a live show Friday. So we've got a jam-packed schedule here on this channel. And guys, have an awesome day. Have an awesome day. Dan, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys. Have a great night.